I just finished reading Book of Night by Holly Black, which is an author I've seen all over the place for years at this point. This was my first ever book from her that I've read, and I have some thoughts about it. From what I understand, this was Holly Black's adult debut instead of writing primarily YA-centered work. And I feel like that sort of shift from YA to adult usually goes one of two ways. It's either pretty evident that this is this person's first time writing in that realm, or they make the transition extremely well. For me personally, I feel like this book fell somewhere in the middle there, but regardless, this book seemed extremely intriguing to me because it operates in that dark fantasy space, which I really like. I like when elements of horror are combined with fantasy. That's my sort of sweet spot of reading, and Book of Night is pitched as a modern dark fantasy that revolves around shadowy thieves, secret societies, and I was in immediately. The main character's name is Charlie Hall, who I didn't think was the worst main character, but I also didn't feel like a legitimate, strong connection to her as a main character. This supernatural version of the world in which Charlie Hall occupies, you can essentially separate humans from their shadows. That separation stems from entertainment or cosmetic preferences, but sometimes it can increase people's power, their influence. It can alter someone's feelings, their memories, their personality. The idea is that somebody's shadow sort of holds all the dark parts of them, the things people want to keep hidden, like a second self, and that is literal in some sense in this world because some of these shadows begin to sort of run rampant and take on a life of their own. So with this being a market and a want and a need for some people, Charlie sort of operates around these con artist circles. She's a con artist herself. One day on the walk home from her job, she discovers a soon-to-be crime scene of somebody who has passed via some foul play. All of a sudden, some of the people in her life, both professionally, personally, seem to be connected in some ways more than others. And she finds herself ensnared with dark figures from the past, family members, people she can no longer trust. And it all revolves around this desperate need to control the magic of the shadows. And it probably feels like I just said a lot there, and it felt like that at times reading this. I feel like the beginning was really solid in setting the foundation for all of this, and the end was pretty well executed, but it felt like the middle drug on. This book is like exactly 300 pages, but it felt like I read a 500 or 600 page book, and for some reason the pacing just didn't fully work for me in that like middle 60% of the book. Although interesting things were happening, things were developing that I liked, I just didn't find myself building any sort of strong connection with the main character or really even the side characters. But overall, the sort of eerie nature of this magical world kept me going. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, if you're a general enjoyer of dark fantasy, I think Book of Night will work for you.